Hello and welcome to MythTrusters. Today we're going to be looking at the myth, happiness is caused by our external circumstances. I'm Sam Clement.
And I'm Kylie Raskob. Let's begin.
So, Kylie, why don't you tell the audience about our myth today? I thought you of all people would know this. Anyway, the myth is about how when you have a lot of nice things, a nice job, a lot of money, or nothing goes wrong, that is the only true way to be happy. Another part of... What are you doing?
I'm going on Amazon.
Why? We're in the middle of a show.
Because I need a citrine crystal. I read that they raise self-esteem.
Well, this goes on to another part of our myth for today. A lot of items claim to bring happiness and solve problems. So why should we bust it? This answer is simple. Everyone wants to be happy, and the cure for happiness is wanted by millions of people. There are even a lot of books about happiness. That is why we are here today, to give you the true cure for happiness.
I bet the myth is true. I bet the myth is true.
Okay, let's go off to our interviews. First off, let's have a look at what some people think about our so-called myth.
Here we have a clip of our interview with college student Nick McNutt.
So, do you think happiness is caused by your external circumstances?
Yeah, I mean, your external circumstances are going to have an effect with what's going on in your life. I mean, they can directly impact you or kind of leave you lingering in a certain thought process if it was something traumatic enough.
Okay. Do you feel happier when you buy new things or basically spend money on yourself?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of that effect. Whenever, you get a new pair of shoes or new clothes, you wear them the next day, show them off, kind of makes you feel a little better.
And then, do you feel happier when you have money or more stuff, more things in general?
I mean, to a point. I'm not really particular with like materialistic things, but I mean, it's always nice to have a new gadget or new watch or something like that. Sometimes,
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
From this interview and our polls, we have decided that most people find this myth to be true and believe that external circumstances are actually a very big cause of our individual happiness.
Well, in this article about happiness in Women's Health magazine that was featured on ABC News, many myths about what makes people happy were busted. This included the myth about external circumstances affecting happiness, and also about how money is believed to be able to buy happiness.
Wait, so the article says that money can't buy happiness?
Correct. The studies within this article suggest that while most people seem to believe in the myth, they did not actually have the effect people believed that they did. Sure, going out and buying yourself something nice will boost your happiness, but that won't last nearly as long as spending time with friends, family, or donating to charity.
Really? I don't know if I believe that.
That's what it said. The article did say that when it comes to happiness, 10% is likely to come from external circumstances.
Ha, see?
However, that means the other 90% comes from you as a person and how your brain processes the world. From our interviews and the evidence we have found in society, people generally seem to think that the myth is true, and that external forces are a big part of what makes us happy.
Overall, I think most of society thinks that the myth is generally true. After all, don't you feel happier when you've bought something yourself or gotten like a promotion at work?
Well, that probably has something to do with dopamine.
With what?
Dopamine. It's a chemical, or rather a neurotransmitter, within your body that makes you feel happy. Other chemicals in your body can do this as well. If we achieve certain desires or needs, we can increase the level of dopamine in our brain, and this allows us to feel happiness. However, you would have to constantly achieve this to keep your dopamine levels up, as it will recede after a while back to normal.
So it's like drinking coffee.
Exactly, but to keep that energy and happiness going, you would have to drink more and more coffee because you would lose the feeling over time.
Anyway, let's talk now about its relevance in other places too. This myth is actually really relevant in pop culture, whether it's proving it to be true or false.
Oh, really now?
Yeah, in fact, there's an entire show called Hoarders that displays this myth. The show is about people in America who have what they call obsessive hoarding disorder, and people who are considered hoarders are often thought to have issues with anxiety or depression and feel the need to compulsively buy things, especially if there is some sort of sale going on. Getting rid of their physical possessions causes them to feel extreme sadness, so they choose to keep things, even if they really have no need to, like, say, old newspapers or plastic bags.
So people tend to hoard because having all those things and never getting rid of them makes them happy?
Exactly.
There are pop culture references that go against the myth, too.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Celebrities, for instance. Most celebrities have a lot of money and, therefore, a lot of physical objects. However, there are many celebrities that don't feel happy because of this. In a collection of interviews with celebrities compiled on YouTube, each celebrity talked about how making large sums of money, being invited to lavish parties, and continuously growing in success did not make them happy. Rather, these people tend to grow more depressed because the material objects did not give them the happiness that they wanted.
Like, what I thought was, if you want to be happy, you've got to become a successful person, you've got to acquire stuff, you've got to have people adore you, you've got to become glamorous. Because I felt small, I felt alienated, alone, and I felt very, very powerless in Grace. Then what happened was, I then experienced the things that I was culturally indoctrinated to believe would be a kind of salvation. Fame, fortune, attention, limitless fellatio if required. And yet, salvation did not come. You know, when I went back to where I was from, when I got there was a sort of a sense of despair that I wasn't really prepared for. The place that I'd come from had deteriorated, it had become worse. Every shop replaced by betting shops and pound shops and talk of food banks and talk of UKIP. And I thought, oh no, there is a massive despair. The alienation that I felt on a personal level is actually a social problem. And we're culturally trying to solve it in the way that I tried to solve it as an individual, by lacquering it in glamour, by trying to acquire money, by consuming. So I thought, is there anything you can do about that, Russell, as a person who talks for a living? And then I thought, yeah, talk about that and then write a book about it, and then I've done it.
So now let's take a look at evidence for the myth.
Oh, I got this.
I'm sure you do.
For starters, I just read the book Money Can Buy Happiness. How to Spend to Get the Life You Want by M.P. Dunleavy. So that's not the only book on how to buy things, and
Sure
being rich makes you happy. Even Eric Hoffer, who is an American social critic, said, you can never get enough of what you don't need to make you happy. And also, they have been creating and selling objects specifically for your health and happiness for as long as they can remember. If those didn't work, they wouldn't be selling those objects today.
The only thing that explains is why it's still relevant today.
But don't you see? So many people have been using these methods, and it tends to make them feel happier. I would say that's some strong proof.
While this might be good evidence for the myth, there's also a good amount of evidence against the myth.
Oh, really?
Yes, really. For example, Ed Diner and Martin Seligman's hedonic treadmill.
What does working out have to do with anything?
It's not a real treadmill. It's the name of their hypothesis. All of their studies show evidence that objects from really great or really bad experiences don't last very long. Even happiness from winning a huge lottery only lasts 2 months.
That's odd.
Not as odd as you may think. Even Martha Washington said, the greater part of happiness or misery depends on our dispositions, not our circumstances.
Well, what about chewing your food 32 times, one for each tooth? That brings happiness and health?
Well, not that chewing your food is a bad thing, but I'm sure your teeth will notice if you chew 32 times or 22 times.
Well, what about a rhino horn? That makes you happy, and it has health benefits.
That's illegal, first of all, and it actually has been proven not to have any health benefits, and once again, will not make you happy.
What about Spanish fly?
No.
Green M&Ms?
No.
Chocolate?
Well, maybe.
Chili peppers?
No.
Oysters?
No.
Viagra?
That is a completely different subject and not really appropriate. We are now going to take a quick commercial break before revealing the conclusion of the myth. We will be right back to MythTrusters.
Are you looking forward to this Valentine's Day, or are you just afraid of being alone on that day that symbolizes love? Well, either way, we have just the thing for you. Check out our new Valentine Teddy, the perfect gift for your significant other on your special day, or a friend to cuddle with you so you don't feel so alone. Either way, this is the gift for you. Make your Valentine's Day the happiest one yet with the Valentine Teddy!
Welcome back.
And now the answer you have all been waiting for. Is this myth busted? Well, the answer is... Who the heck?
Delivery for Kylie! It's your Valentine Teddy!
The commercial said he would make me happy on Valentine's Day.
But I was about to say the myth is pretty much busted.
Wait, what?
Yeah, happiness is not solely controlled by our external circumstances.
I don't understand.
You see, Kylie, money and things only make you temporarily happy. If you want to truly be happy, surround yourself with people that you love instead of objects. Give yourself words of encouragement every morning before you leave. And be kind to other people. No object can give you happiness and courage. Only you can do that.
So you're saying that I keep buying stuff because the happiness that the object brings me doesn't last long. That people on Hoarders have so much stuff because the stuff isn't truly making them happy, which is why they keep collecting more stuff. That life is what I make it, and that I should surround myself with loved ones, learn to love myself, and spread kindness?
Exactly.
I don't get it.
Just remember, nothing can make you magically happy. Maybe for a little bit, but not for long. You are the true cure for happiness.
I need a laptop done.
Oh yeah, do you want your laptop?
No.
Do you want my laptop?
Sure.
Advertising, free advertising, Thiel.
Free advertising.
To bring happiness and solve. So why should we bust it? The sample is simple. Answer, oh my gosh. First off, let's look at, first off, let's look, oh my gosh. They're a pop culture. It's the same, it's the name, and that is we're going to now butcher that sentence. You are the true. You. Right back to MythTrusters. Well, Ed Diner and Martin Seligman. Is that how you say it?
Yay, my Valentine teddy! Yeah, that's right.